Hello, welcome to the Scarlet Sage channel. I'm Laura Ash, the owner and clinical herbalist of the Scarlet Sage Herb Company in San Francisco. I get to share with you today how to make herbal infused oils. It's one of my most favorite ways to use herbal medicine every day. Today we have 5 different herbs that we're using. Some of my favorites: rose, chamomile, tulsi, lavender, and kava. But I'm having us use these herbs today specifically to make the oil for reducing stress. So often we don't know that the massages that we can use for our daily well-being can actually help reduce stress. We can use them in the morning, we can use them in the evening, we can use them all throughout the day if you have the opportunity to do so. But these herbs are all nervines, they're calming, but will also help hopefully move lymph, and so you can also reduce any type of inflammation or water retention when you're standing on your feet all day long, when you're sitting in a chair all day long, or really just not getting enough exercise. So I'm really excited to use this recipe today, and we're using our base oil of sesame. Sesame oil is used in Ayurvedic medicine to reduce vata. And vata is the dosha that's specifically for air and ether. So vatas generally have a lot of anxiety. They can have a lot of fear in their life. And vatas tend to try to avoid stressful situations. So vata in the Ayurvedic doshas are really sensitive people, really sensitive to other people's energies, sensitive to external environmental factors, but also sensitive to any everyday stress. Now, the Pitta dosha in Ayurvedic medicine are they're more medium build, more athletic. They're very inflammatory, very bright, fiery people. And this would also be a good oil for them if they find that stress is causing a lot of inflammation in their body. The Kapha dosha are people that are generally very heavy, very grounded, Mama, Papa Earth, I like to call them. This oil could be used for that, but right now we're using it specifically for reducing stress and really nourishing these tissues. Kapha people that are generally overweight, they're very depressed, they might not use the sesame oil, they might use something like olive oil or an almond oil that's a little bit lighter. But because Vata dosha type people generally have way too much stress going on in their bodies, this is why we're using it. So the nice thing about herbal infused oils is that you don't have to be an herbalist to do it. You can use this in your everyday life, like we said, but also you don't have to weigh everything out like some tinctures or some oils that you would need to make in more of a scientific method. This is considered a folk method of herbal medicine. So we're going to start with rose, and rose is one of my favorites because it's used for self-healing and for self-love. So get any jar and put rose in the jar. And I like these organic rose petals that we have at Scarlet Sage. It's one of my favorites. And it smells so good. We're also going to use chamomile. The loose chamomile flowers are very different than the chamomile in tea bags. It's very big, it's very bright, it's very strong in scent. It's also very antibacterial naturally. And so chamomile is going to be a really good one for us to use in this herbal infused oil. And then we have tulsi. Tulsi is one of my favorite herbs as an adaptogen. So adaptogens are herbs that help reduce stress load via the cortisol in the body. So some adaptogens reduce cortisol, which is the stress hormone, by helping the mitochondria and the cells work better after we are finished with a stressful experience. Some actually just relax the body after a stressful experience or reduce the longevity of a stressful experience, helping us rejuvenate. In many different traditional cultures, like traditional Chinese medicine or Ayurveda, all call adaptogens longevity tonics. So they're really good internally, but we're using this externally today. Tulsi is one of my favorite herbs as a tea internally as well, and it smells really, really good. It's a little bit warming, so vatas tend to be very cold, and people that experience a lot of stress very easily. And so we're going to do a little bit of a warming herb here. I really do love tulsi. It's one of my favorites. Lavender. Lavender is how I even got into herbalism, so of course we're going to use it today. Lavender is, as we know, native to France, to southern France and Provence. There's still wild lavender growing there, which is beautiful if you get a chance to see it. Lavender, as we know, is a good relaxant. It's mostly known as a relaxant. That's how most people understand it. But it's also really anti-inflammatory and very antibacterial. So we're going to use it to kind of clean the skin a little bit and help relax the body as well. The essential oil will help preserve the oil a little bit also. So we'll need a little bit of these oils and the herbs to help preserve them. And then the other herb, the last one I'm going to use is kava, and it's kava root. So we know it as kava kava. Indigenous to most of the islands around Hawaii and Fiji and Samoa and other islands in that area, the Polynesian islands. So I actually got this idea from Jim McDonald, a great friend and herbalist. He talks a lot about kava because he loves kava. So he inspired me to use kava in this remedy to help reduce stress. And so we're going to use kava today. I'm really excited to try it because I've never actually used it in my formula, but he's excited to use it in his formula, so I was going to borrow it today. So we have all the herbs here, all mixed up, even layered. It's totally fine. And we're going to use the sesame oil, all organic, of course. The nice thing is that you get to just fill up the jar and make sure it's completely covered. So I would mix the herbs with the oil to make sure they are completely covered with the sesame oil. This is a 4-ounce bottle of sesame oil, so we're going to use another ounce. This is a 1-ounce bottle. So you definitely need at least 5 ounces, and they might even need more if it absorbs. This is great. So now I have my oil completely covered. It's beautiful. My herbal infused oil. And the next thing I would do is put a date and a label, making sure I write all the herbs in there. You can write the exact proportions if you want to recreate this oil at some point. But you don't have to if you don't want to. But I would definitely write the herbs and what's in there and the type of oil that are in there and the date. The next thing is you would place this on a windowsill with a light so it gets warm for a couple weeks, or in a warm place in your kitchen or your bathroom. Wherever you feel like it's going to be a little bit warm. Now the warming of the oil is going to help macerate and infuse the herbs and the essential oils into the oil. After 2 weeks macerated, you're going to strain the oil through a cheesecloth, strain it and squeeze it. And so you're able to then have your herbal infused oil ready to use as a daily massage, or you could use it in a salve recipe. You could use it in a lip balm recipe. You can use it as a hair oil. There are many different uses for these herbal infused oils, and this is the most simple and easy way to make it. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it and have a beautiful day.